Welcome to another episode, everyone. Finally, Nolan Wells' parents are able to speak out on a major news outlet. They are able to speak out here on Good Morning America, and they detail what they believe happened to their child. None of these major news outlets have covered this. None of them. The newspapers are barely making mention of it. They're too busy talking about Carmelo Anthony. These big news outlets are too busy talking about Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. They don't care one bit that Nolan Wells lost his life. They only care about Austin Metcalf and how he lost his life. This here is sellout Michael Strahan interviewing the Nolan Wells parents.
More on the mysterious death of Nolan Wells. We're joined by his parents, Christine and Elmore Wansley, as well as their attorney, Ben Crump. And before we get started, first off, I want to thank you for being here under these circumstances. Know how extremely tough it must be, and we can express how sorry we are for you and your family. And first question, how are you two holding up?
Taking it second by second.
Day by day.
Second by second and day by day, which we all can understand. And I just want to ask you, the friends that Nolan traveled to Horn Island with, they say that he stayed behind voluntarily. Why would he stay behind?
That we cannot answer. I can't fathom why he would.
I don't know why he would. We always taught him to, if you go with a group, you stay with a group. Mm-hmm. Even when he was in college, he would say, "Dad, well, we're gonna ride down to a party or something in another city." Now, so I was telling him, "Look, if you go with 5, you come back with 5. Do not separate from your group." Because I always said, safety is in numbers. Mm-hmm. And he always said, "Yes, sir." So he knew to stay with his group. So why would he split from his group? I don't know.
So that would have been unusual for him to split from the group.
Yeah, it'd have been unusual, sellout. And if you don't know why he would split from the group, if you've explicitly had these conversations with him to never split from the group because safety is in numbers, then why would he do it? Perhaps the father is going to say eventually in this interview that I believe something is fishy or whatever, because he's not saying that so far. Perhaps he's just being careful with his words, doesn't want to blame anyone. So forth. Nevertheless, your son is dead. There's no question at this point that he's not missing. He's dead. So take the gloves off. And that's the problem with black people. Too freaking nice. The mother starts off laughing. I'm not saying she's not grieving. I understand she's upset and people grieve in different ways. But they need to be on here angry, I would think. I don't care that we already have this image of always being angry. It doesn't matter. We don't care what these people think about us. If you are angry, you have a damn reason to be after everything you've been through and your people have been through in this country. You damn sure better be angry about the way you've been treated. So what? But this is the problem. They coming out. Nah, man. If that was my son, I'd be pissed. I'll be on here, but I need answers. I want answers. No, I'll be saying, no, my son did not separate from the group. I've taught him not to do that. He would have never done that. He did not do that. Period. Which automatically means something else happened. That didn't happen. All this, I don't know why they would say that and this and that. This is the freaking problem. This is they're killing y'all kids, killing our kids, and getting away with it. No one, even the fathers won't do anything. Carmelo Anthony's father. Trayvon Martin's father. I'm going to death row. Everybody got to go. You, your kids, your mama, your daddy, everybody out of here. You kill my kid. The hell? These people on here just freaking laughing. These people make me sick. I'm about to get into this other video where this black woman was saying that that the parents are sellouts. They didn't teach Nolan Wells. They taught him to crave proximity to whiteness, that he was better than black people. That's how he ended up on the boat with them. These people don't get it. Many people have died not getting it, though.
You said he would always check in with you. Did he check in with you that day?
So that day, no, I don't. But of course, too, they were on the boat. And usually when he is out there, which it's not uncommon, he's, I think, since last year, they've he's been going there occasionally with his friends. And so it would always just be like, hey, Mom, I'm back, type of thing. But this time there was no call or text from him. It was from his friend.
And then, too, really didn't worry a lot about it because, you know, it was his last weekend to have fun.
Yeah.
Because that Monday he had to report to school. We was preparing to take him back for camp to prepare for the season. So, you know, we understand he wanted to have his last little hurrah before he locked down and get ready for the season. Because, like I said, the entire summer he's training. He got more serious. He started to understand what I was trying to tell him about football, not just being fun, but as you get farther in it, it becomes a business. If you want to excel, and you have to understand, and you have to understand both at the same time.
And we know, Ben, that you said that you're going to do an independent investigation.
Yes.
And you say you have Nolan's cell phone and messages were deleted. How could you tell messages were deleted?
Well, his parents got the phone back, and that's something that's important, Michael, because they tracked this phone on Life 360.
So Life 360, but when I received the phone call from Warren, I immediately called my friend Tashima, and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her two sons, Jalen and Javon, like, they grew up together. They played City League sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, like, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. Like, I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like, I'm not. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone. They tracked it, and that highlights all these contradictions, Michael. The fact that they said Nolan was talking to a young woman, and she said that he said, I'm going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys said that he said he was going to stay with her. And so that's an obvious contradiction. And then this video of this, you can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And so then his phone ends up missing. I don't know any teenagers, Michael Strahan, who says, if you believe their story, I'm gonna stay behind and I'm gonna leave my phone. I mean, no young person leaves their cell phone. And so then there's so many things their parents were telling us about, even why didn't his body wash up with the tide on Sunday? Why would it come on Monday? It's not adding up. And that is the problem when you think about the history of Mississippi.
Yeah, so there are so many questions that need to be answered. And is there anything you'd like people to know about Nolan? What would you like them to know about your son?
No,
It's okay.
Nolan, take your time. Nolan was.
Yeah, and that's just it, man. Me personally, I get sick of seeing the black woman's tears. Every time we turn, and she's crying too because of the lackluster nature of the black man who refuses to stand up and protect himself, his children, and his women. Period. All we want to do is kill one another. I'm sick of it. Every time we see these stories, it's a black family on here crying about their son or brother or father being shot in the freaking head by somebody. Just because they exist, just because they're breathing. It's constantly the same story. And we all have to be sick of it. Hell, we're dying anyway. Let's do something about it. Let's die, but let's stop dying alone.
He was very loving. He was liked by all. It was not a friend that he couldn't make.
No, we'll be right back with more for the parents of Nolan Wells and attorney Ben Crump. We're back now on GMA with the parents of Nolan Wells, Christina and Elmore Wansley. And I want you to please continue to tell us what you want the world to know about your son.
So Nolan was just like this bright light, right? walk into a room, his smile, his energy was just so infectious. Like it's almost like he drew you into him. And he was just one of those people, like he always wanted everyone to be included. He didn't want anyone to feel left out. I remember one of his teachers emailing us. I can't remember what grade he was in, but basically it was math class. They had a special needs student, and she asked a question.
Yeah. Hooray for Nolan, who saw the good in everyone, who saw the good in every human being, who didn't see color and all of this stuff that black people teach their children in their households, to see the world, to love everyone, to love your white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, fake Jesus. Yeah, Nolan was a great guy who loved everyone. But guess what? You failed your child. Because what you should have been telling them is, though you love everyone does not love you. Be honest with these people. Be honest with your children, or you're not doing your job as a parent. You're not preparing them for the real world, for reality. Perhaps you're preparing them for the world that you wish it to be, the world that you wish were here. You wish it was this way. But the reality is, your sons come up dead and missing all the time. That's the reality. And we know why. And if you're not telling them that, then you're not preparing them for the real world and the real life. You're not preparing them. So he was ill prepared. He thought that these were his friends. You thought that these were his friends. After all that you know, after all the data that we have, you still thought that. You people are freaking. No wonder this shit. No wonder we're in the position that we're in.
Question, and Nolan got everyone to put their hands down because he wanted that student to answer. And so student answers the question, and she was like, Christine, the classroom, Nolan went crazy, and everyone else started going crazy, just celebrating that child, making them feel included. And that was the person he was. Like, he loved everyone.
Of course.
And I always told Nolan, like, you have to be careful when you have such a big heart like that. I love that God blessed you with that, but you have to be careful with that because, that it's not always returned, that type of love. But he was just genuinely a good person. Like, I always say, all the best parts of me are with him.
And Dad, anything else you want to add?
It's just, he's going to be really missed. I know a lot of his teammates, they all looked at him as a leader. He's more like a silent leader. Not real big on words, more on action, which is kind of like I was. I really wasn't real big on talking. I really wanted to show you and you follow me, and people followed him. And it's gravitated. He put in the work, he worked hard, and he knew he was focused on what he wanted. And he wanted to make life better for, his family. He wanted to have his own family. He used to say, Dad, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. I said, well, son, you got to take it one step at a time. Slow down, let's go, let's walk this thing out. Let's train, let's sign our deals, let's make these teams, make these camps, put the work in, and everything else will work out. Even his baby brother, their bond got even stronger because now I have a big brother that he's finna do something, so now I want to outdo that. So his focus and his confidence has got even better. So I was looking forward to both of them having outstanding years.
Seasons,
He seemed like he inspired in the home and he inspired outside of the home. And Attorney Crump, where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, the deleted messages that Christina was going to briefly touch on, we want to get the phone and figure that out.
Backtrack on that. When we finally got his phone, me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like, he does videos. Like, there was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious,
Michael, we having an independent autopsy done at the behest of his family. Colin Kaepernick helped pay for the independent autopsy. We flew his body up from Mississippi to D.C. because they wanted an autopsy done by a person with no interaction with the Mississippi law enforcement, because there's an issue of trust here that is really important. And the fact that they keep trying to say, well, suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning, it's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else, and that's it. We just want answers.
Well, we really appreciate all of you being here. We hope you get the answers that you deserve to have, and we hope you get the closure that you need. Thank you all for being here.
There is no closure. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this camera, man. Let me see if hopefully I can finish this video. I apologize. Stay safe and stay free, everyone, in case I got to stop the video. Because if the camera started tripping again, maybe I don't have to do this whole video over because it started tripping right there at the end. Jeez, paid a lot of money for this camera. Okay, at any rate, there you have it. Nolan Wells' parents, rest in peace to that young individual, to their young brother. You see that the parents said that everything was deleted on his Snapchat. He was separated from the group. He was separated from his phone. He would have never separated from his phone, of course. In fact, he's screaming, "Give me my phone, give me my phone," as they're telling him that he cannot get back on the boat. And they left with his phone. They had his phone. Apparently turned the phone over to the authorities or to the parents or whatever. They go through the phone and see that all of his Snapchat has been deleted. And the videos and messages last at least 24 hours, and everything was already deleted. And she said that he takes videos and messages and all of this on his Snapchat. Particularly, he's out there on a boat, on vacation, having fun and this and that. He's going to document that. He's going to have videos about this. And the fact that he doesn't have any videos about it, that everything has been deleted. Why would you delete it? Why would you delete his Snapchat? Unless there was something on there that's incriminating. And again, the parents are being very classy. And I know that they are grieving, and I don't want to come down on the parents. They lost their child, they're grieving. But we have to do better. We have to stand up for our children in the worst way. It's Rodney Hitton. It's an eye for an eye. I'm sorry. No, y'all not about to be running around chilling, living y'all life, going to college and all that. You done took the opportunity away from my child. That's not how it's going to work. And the fact that they believe that this is what's going to happen is why this, and the fact that is what keeps happening, is that they do this and move on with their lives like nothing ever happened, because our lives don't matter, is the reason that this continues to happen. Make no mistake about it. That is the reason that they do this, because they know that they can do it and get away with it. And that's exactly what's going to happen in this case. Who's about to go to this? Are they really about to do some investigation and get to the bottom of this and arrest some people and send them to prison for the rest of their life because that little black boy lost his life? No. If it were the other way around, of course, they'd already be on death row. But with this situation, no. Which is why you should know that going in and not be in this sort of situation. That's the bottom line. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Again, rest in peace to that young man, and justice for Nolan Wells. If there is foul play, if something happened to him, if he lost his life at the hands of someone else, then that someone else needs to pay the price like in any other situation. But, with the country being the way that it is, do not be surprised if no one suffers the consequences of taking a life. Because the life that was taken doesn't matter to the world. The world. They don't believe that we have a right to even be on the earth. So when someone takes our life, they're not grieving, they're celebrating. That's the bottom line. I'm not you. I know my history, and I believe what my eyes are telling me. I believe what the history tells me. I believe what I see today. Oh, that was so long ago. No, today. I believe what the hell, I believe what I'm seeing. It's you all that refuse to believe it. That's on you. I get it. You don't get it. I get it. These people are sick. That's what I get. They're sick. They can't be helped. They're sick. The sooner you understand that, the better off we'll all be. Michael Strahan. Let me know what you think in the comments. Rest in peace to that brother. Stay safe and stay free, people.